Hi team, and welcome and good evening or good day, whatever time it is that you're watching this. So if you're joining me on the live, then hi, welcome. And I know a lot of you love to watch the recordings. I had quite a lot of you watch the recordings on the last one. So I'm hoping that a lot of you will catch up on this one as well, enjoy it and take a lot from this. If there's any questions, leave them to the end. But if you prefer to email me, not a problem. Always feel free, or you can leave a comment when I leave this on a YouTube video. You can then comment on that as well, whatever you prefer. Anyway, so today's subject is going to be trust me and trust the process. So, everyone's journey with me is we're all different in our own ways. We've got people on fat loss journeys. We've got people who want to get stronger. Some people want to just get fitter. Some people want to become more mobile. Some people are, go through postnatal recovery. So everyone is different in their own wonderful ways. So that's why you've come to me with your own unique thing about you. So with that, it comes with its challenges as well in order for this program to work for you. So we look at things like goal setting and how that's going to suit your lifestyle. No matter what, we're all busy in our own way. It doesn't matter if you're a parent or not, or whether you have just the one job or you've got two or three. Everyone's busy in their own way. We thrive off it. If anything, since post-COVID, I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like my life is going 100 miles per hour all the time. Every weekend is full up and just finding the time for everything. So yeah, we all have it. So this is why when you come to me to put a program together, we create a goal that is going to be achievable. It's going to be realistic, and you set a good time period for it. I have had it in the past, but people have approached me and said, I want to lose, say like it's 2 stone, but I want to lose it in 6 weeks. I will turn around and say, I'm sorry, I'm not prepared to train you like that. You can either stick with me, but you'll be with me for longer and you'll do it in a healthy approach, or please go to another coach who'll be willing to do it at a dangerous way. So yeah, there's things like that. So I break it down. And the thing is with goals is that you need to make them achievable. And you need to, this is what's going to give you drive. If you set yourself up for something that's too difficult, you've set yourself up for failure. And in the long run, you're just going to feel crap. And then you're less likely to feel motivated. So a lot of you who have stayed with me a long time, you know that, as I always say, it's not a marathon. Sorry, it's not a sprint. It is a marathon at the end of the day. And some of you, like, seriously, the things that you've achieved through this has been insane. And I feel like your goals have actually shifted and are better than before. So again, people come to me most of the time saying, I want to lose body fat, instead of really thinking outside the box. How is exercise going to make them feel? And how is good nutrition going to make them feel? And that's when I put together the program. So it's going to suit you and you're going to enjoy it and you're going to feel motivated and you're going to come out of it kind of going, bloody smash that, I did. And also, a lot of people who are now approaching me are beginners. I've got people starting from complete scratch. And I've got some people this month have joined that have never been to the gym before, and they're going to the gym. And I get it. A lot of us who have been training since last year, we had that sort of gym anxiety, don't we? And we're like absolutely terrified. So I put together some programs where it was gently bringing people in. So thinking about different types of equipment that's not going to scare the bejesus out of you when you walk in. So that's more using like free weights and machines. And then every now and then I just throw in like, I'm going to go get you using a barbell today. I'm going to get you doing this. Because if you trust me and trust the process, your confidence gained and you kind of go, don't know why I was afraid of that. Just smash that. But we all have it. We walk into these gyms and, there's massive roid blokes in there, probably grunting away, probably doing it wrong. And we get, well, it's terrifying, isn't it? I've been there. I had to start from a scratch somewhere. And I remember kind of always going for the leg press machine and a leg curl, and then just going to a treadmill because I was like terrified. So this is why I put together programs for people who are new, that it's going to develop over time and you're going to build that confidence. You're going to kind of want to kind of explore a bit more. So I'm seeing a few of you doing that now, which is why I love that. So when I put your obviously your program scale, yes, they are primarily resistance-based sessions with a little bit of cardio. The reason I do that is, as I've said before in previous podcasts and in the last webinar, is that resistance training, no matter what, you get a lot out of it, from longevity of life to increasing your lean tissue, which then increases things like, you know, your metabolism, but also it's going to increase your muscle strength, which then increases your bone density, which then can lead you to living a more mobile and stable life for a very long period. Also, when I said about increased metabolism, that's because the more muscle mass you have, the more that your body basically needs energy to sustain and look after itself. So no matter what, having the gains is great. Years ago, I used to be terrified of doing resistance training because I thought I was going to look big, manly, and I was going to have massive shoulders and like giant quads. And I was like, that's not for me. I'm not going to look like Arnie. But for girls particularly, that's not going to happen, okay? For guys, I can do it in a way that your program, you do build muscle, but it's in a, you know, it's in a way that you're actually going to feel sexy as fuck, basically, for both men and women. It's the only way I can put it. I put it together to kind of give you that slender look that you guys want to achieve, but I do it in a fun way. At the end of the day, I want you to walk out of that gym session and kind of go, oh my God, that was hard, but I did it. So the amount of times that people say, for example, never done a push-up, and they'll say to me, I can't do push-ups. And I'm like, right, take it back to basics. Push up against the wall, then do it against a high sort of, I don't know, like kitchen surface or something, then a table, then to a chair, then do it from your knees, and then getting your knees further and further away. And oh, suddenly you're doing a military press up. It builds up over time. Yeah, I'm not saying it happens overnight. You know, this can take months, even years, but it builds up. Just trust me on it and just build up your confidence in that way. I was one of these people, and I still have a bit of weakness in my wrists now, but building up my strength helps hold, like, you know, me be able to do a lot of very difficult moves and even grip strength. So I ripped all the ligaments in my wrist some years ago. Randomly from a back squat. Anyway, through doing lots of resistance training, working on my upper body and stuff over time, yeah, it is slightly weaker, but because I built up my strength, it's helped sustain and look after it. So I can still achieve really good complex moves now, which is really nice. So going back to like your programs again and suiting your lifestyle. So everyone who's joined the team, I've probably got about 60% who are still cabin crew, and the other lot, various different jobs, many from in the education service to being in like NHS, police, you name it. I've got all sorts. Oh, I've got someone joining. So I've got people in different areas. So when I put your programs together, it's got to be something that's going to suit you at the end of this. So I'm just making sure that I've got Rachel on mute. Cool. Fab. Anyway, carrying on. So lifestyle wise, sometimes we can kind of go, oh, Haley, I'm finding it really hard because, you know, I'm trying to fit it in around 6 days of just working 13 hours. And then I'm really struggling to then catch up on this. And then I can't find a way to make this work for me. So I get it, especially with crew at the moment. I'm seeing a lot of people doing a shit ton of short haul. It's actually concerning that I've seen people who are doing 6-day blocks of like 3 or 4 a.m. wake ups, which is not okay. So I remember back in the day when I was crew and I would have those blocks because BA used to always throw all the long haul on you for like 4 or 5 months, and then you had no hours left. So then you had to do all the short haul crap. So then I was given all the early starts, normally taking them in charge. Anyway, so how did I get around this? Because I was also working in a cafe and I was working on becoming a personal trainer. So it was really, really intense. And I was training to do a photo shoot and be in a deficit. So I had to train, I think it was 6 days per week. So it was hard, I won't lie. But I had to work around prioritizing my rest more than anything around work, first of all. So I had to be very honest with myself and go, right, I'm going to go to bed early. I've got to go to bed at 7 or 8 because I've got to get up at 3 a.m. I would do that. Then when I say like cleared, so if I had those early starts, I'd then get up and then I would go and do my work, crack on with a workout, go home, have dinner, go to bed. It was boring, I won't lie, but it gets it done. It gets it sorted. And you don't have that sort of niggling feeling of, oh shit, I haven't lifted weights in 2 weeks because I've just had all this shortfall. Find a way around that's going to work for you. But like I always say, just prioritize your rest and recovery, okay? More than anything else. So the other thing, when I go back to your programs, with that, is I do take into consideration your lifestyle. So I've got people like, for example, in the police, and they walk a shit ton. They do a lot of walking, and they're super, super busy. They work very long shifts, and the same with nurses that I've got on the team as well. They're working long shifts. So I say to them that I don't have to worry about the step count into the equation, because that is not an issue. I said, but we need to think about, when are you fitting your me time in? So I've got one person in particular I'm thinking of right now. She does really long shifts, and she's also got 2 kids. It's really hard for her. And she finds on her days off, she's running around like a headless chicken trying to get things done for the family. So I think she works 4 days per week, something like that. So I've said, those days off, don't forget to prioritize yourself. It's very easy to fall into kind of putting everyone else before us, and maybe then procrastinating in an evening and looking at our phones for a while. Get some time to yourself. Do this workout, whatever it is. Find a way that's going to work for yourself. At the end of the day, we find a system that's going to work for us. As I said, when I had to do this, various different jobs and train, it was hard, but I had to kind of go, right, okay, go to bed early, then I'll get this done. And I felt good. I didn't have a sense of guilt in the day. Now, if fatigue fell into place, then yeah, we would talk about that in your programming, because I wouldn't want you to fall into like exhaustion at the end of the day. But, I want you to enjoy this. So having that me time for like an hour, every other day for your sessions, that's not selfish. That's good. That's good for your mental well-being as well. And getting that pump on, getting those endorphins going, you're going to feel great from it, and you're going to be in a good mood. And it's going to project onto other people. You're going to do well at work because you're in a better headspace. So there's all these things. So it ripples on and it has a good effect. Okay. So when I come to also writing your programs, I look at like your current, level of fitness and your experience levels. And then I build on that, because as I talked before, progressive overload. So no matter what, I'm wanting to challenge you. I'm wanting to stimulate your muscles and keep pushing you. Not to the point of exhaustion, but keep pushing you. So you walk out and go, she pushed me hard tonight or this morning, but that was good. I feel good for it. And then you'll start to notice aesthetically things change. You'll notice things like your waist starts coming in. You'll notice that your legs tightening up, your shoulders developing. You start to see this because you're following what I tell you, whether it's lifting heavier or you're doing more reps. I sneakily put these into your programs. So you notice this. So then you're building the lean tissue, and then you keep getting stronger. Your endurance gets better. Your stamina gets better. I put it in there for a reason. So yeah, you do notice it. And then the other thing with your programming is then when it comes to week 5, I've talked to a few of you about this before. Week 5 is a deload week for all of you. So you're still working out hard. You're still going for it, but you'll notice that the reps are less and the sets are around either the same or less. That's because your body actually, it's been proven for a lot of athletes as well, and as well as like PT clients and that actually the rest and recovery rate is a lot better, and they train a lot better from it. So it's just been proven with that. So yeah, there's that. But also when I write your programs, as well as obviously your experience levels from like real beginner to pretty experienced, and actually, I'm having to give you some seriously big sessions, like terrifying pyramid deadlift sets. There are a few of you out there that do that, and you'll know exactly what I mean one day if you ever see that on your program. But I do it because I know you can do it. I'm always going to push you, and I'm always going to make you feel good from doing it. You'll probably hate me at the time. You'll probably swear at me, but it's fine. I don't care. Carry on. I'm not there. You can say whatever you like about me. Just make sure you pay me next month, all right? I'm joking. Anyway, so we have that. So I've talked already about the busy life. I'm going by my little notebook here to make sure I don't miss anything out. And I've talked about, making the time for yourself, and you're not selfish at the end of the day. And I find, for me, particularly with the mental life that I live, honestly, I've never known busyness until I became a mum. It's ridiculous. I have to break down. So I have like long-term goals. Like for me, it's been like photo shoots this year. And then I'll break it down like, okay, how am I going to get there? So then I write myself programs that get me to that aesthetic look. And then I'll go, right, this is how many calories I need to achieve this deficit. Or if I'm in a building stage, then obviously how much of a surplus I need. I work all that kind of stuff out. But anyway, how I do this is I break things up. So if you've got a goal that you want to achieve, so if it's, again, like fat loss sort of perspective, we will then go, I will then break it down in my mind, how I think much you should be losing per month. And then I'll be looking at it from a weekly perspective. So when people come to me, and don't get me wrong, there are people who will drop a shit ton of pounds, especially the first couple of weeks of their program. Very normal, because you've got a lot of water retention coming down and your digestion massively improves because you're making better decisions and your body's reacting in a beautiful, great way. So we have to keep that going. And yes, it does slow down. That's how weight loss works. Especially for women, it goes even slower particular times of the month. But that's why it's good to track your cycles. That's why I say in my process, track your cycles so you can see how your body behaves. Does your digestion get affected like after ovulation? Do you find that your energy levels drop on like, I don't know, day 20, something like that? Watch all that kind of stuff and tell me all of this in your check-ins, because then the more detail I get, the more I can give you back on that. Okay, so really, really consider that, girls. It's really, really important. So anyway, go back to like the breaking down of like planning out months and that. I then expect to see, people have actually asked me recently, oh, should I be losing X amount of weight every week? No, but I'll be looking at other forms of progress in your program. So I'll be looking at, how's your training been? Have you been like, do you do anything extra like running? There's quite a few of you at the moment that are training for marathons. I think you're all nutters, but you all love it. I've got people that love swimming. I've got people that do netball. I've got someone that did boogie bounce. I couldn't think of anything worse. I'll probably piss myself. But anyway, you all have things that you particularly love and enjoy. And I'm like, okay, are you fitting in the things that you love? Are you getting your training sessions in? Are you doing really well? Have you actually noticed that you've improved in your training sessions this week? Have you had a week where you're actually struggling because your energy levels are low, but you turned up, you did your session, you felt good from it? That's an achievement. Have you eaten really well and noticed that actually things like your fiber levels are much better? Have you always struggled with protein and now your protein's got better? These are different types of progresses that I'm seeing. And then obviously we've got the obvious ones where it's like your measurements, your scale weight, which I don't particularly like always going by. And then images. Images are so important. That's why I push for you guys to send me pictures on a weekly or monthly basis, because then I can see what's going on and I can give you the even better feedback. So I really strongly advise that. Really, really helpful. So next thing is, again, I kind of talked about it in my podcast. I know quite a lot of you listen to the podcast, and it was like cardio versus resistance. So like I said, I write you resistance programs because aesthetically it achieves a lot, and also taking care of from like things like your bone health, etc. In the long run, resistance training is an absolute winner. However, I don't like neglecting cardio unless when we've had a discussion about your program and actually you can't do cardio or intense sessions because of, I don't know, medical reasons, then obviously you're different. But for everyone else, I do like you to do a form of cardio a week. I want you to take care of things like your VO2 max. I want you to be thinking about, how you're like taking care of like your blood pressure and, how are you doing in terms of, when you go for a fast-paced walk, are you really out of breath? That's not okay. Think about things like that. You've got to take care of your heart health as well. Really, really important. Plus, it brings up your daily energy expenditure, so it's worth it at the end of the day. Very random fact, since I've been doing all the cardio work recently, my resting heart rate has dropped to 54 beats per minute, which is like, I've never had that. I used to always be like 65 at least. So my cardiovascular health has clearly improved over the last like year and a half, or even probably 2 years since obviously being pregnant with Harry. So don't neglect it. So when I put that in your program, there's a reason for it, because I want you to take care of your cardiovascular health as well. Now, fuel, food. Talk about this a lot with a few of you, but I'm noticing quite a lot of trends in this particular subject in the last few months, definitely in the last month. So please eat what I set for you. Please do. I've got people from either completely under eating, and it's quite terrifyingly low sometimes. There have been times where we've ended it because there have been people eating 200 calories a day. That's not okay. That is not okay. Anything below 1,000 calories, particularly for women, I'm not happy with. Anything particularly below sort of 15, 1,600 for men, I'm not happy. I don't want to see that sort of number. Okay. I want you to be eating what I set for you, because I don't want fatigue, illness. I don't want to have suddenly you be like suffering with deficiencies in something from either, if it's, I don't know, iron, or if it's going to be some particular vitamins. Think about all of these things. So really think about it. So I've had a lot of people recently who say, but I'm just not hungry, Hayley. I'm like, well, if you're not doing my program properly, then I'm wondering what's going on. And normally I find 9 times out of 10, it's people who are just doing cardio and not as hungry. People who are lifting the weights and pushing themselves, they're hungry. They are hangry, okay? Because their muscles, they need it. They need that glycogen and the protein to build. So please eat. That's what I say. So now there are people who want to obviously calorie bank, and I talk about it with quite a lot of you, and it's a great thing to do if you've got an event coming up or a social thing, whatever it is, or you just want to have fun on a Saturday. That's fine. But my strong advice, don't take more than like, I would say 100 calories a day, maximum 150 a day from what's already set for you. So you then have more at the weekend. So say like you took 100 a day from like Monday to Friday, you've got an extra 500 calories that then you could then add into the pot for what you have at the weekend. So then your weekly count is the same as what was set for you. What I don't like seeing is when people are eating below 1,000 calories for like 3 days on the trot and then massive feeds, okay? The only reason I don't like it, yes, okay, your weekly input is what I've set for you. That I understand. However, how are your workouts going with that? I had someone that's been doing like some of my leg sessions with really low calories, then going and doing like, I think it was like their miss 400. So burning 400 calories on a run and eating about 1,200 calories that day, when I know for a fact their BMR is a lot higher than that. It's not okay. It's going to make you feel crap, and it's not going to let your muscles restore properly. So please eat. Okay. It's a really good look, that, wasn't it? So yeah, please stop doing that. And don't be afraid. Like, people again come to me and saying, oh my God, it's because I've eaten loads of carbs. It's a bit carb. I shouldn't have eaten that many carbs. And 9 times out of 10, it's not even that bad. Carbs are amazing. Okay. It's a great thing. It's going to, like I say, it fuels your body. Unless you had, something like you've been medically signed that you had something like polycystic ovaries or epilepsy, and they said to you, I want you to go on a ketogenic diet, then different, that's fine. Like, we can then go down that route and we talk about how you achieve being in ketosis. However, for everyone else, please don't do keto. It's shit. Okay. It's not hot. It's not fun. It's, I've probably now made everyone who's got to be on it feel crap, but it's very restrictive if you don't need to be. Now, my firm belief is that if you've got a condition and it means cutting out a food group to feel better, then yeah, no brainer. I can't eat a lot of dairy and lactose. It makes my colitis flare up. So I'm going to go, okay, fine, I have to cut it out. I'm used to it. So, but if you don't have anything, I'm a bit like, well, why are you cutting out things and making it really not fun for yourself? The only time I'm a bit like, when it comes to check-ins is if I'm not seeing you hitting your protein targets. So don't forget, if you haven't watched the recording of the resistance and protein webinar, please message me. I can send you a recording. It's not a problem. And people always on the Facebook group share ideas of top protein goodies and things. And there's always stuff out there. There's so much plant-based proteins out there now, which is incredible. And I've noticed that recently, a really amazing trend is those who are particularly on a plant-based diet, so vegans, they're hitting their protein targets, but their fiber is phenomenal because a lot of their protein sources are very fibrous. So they actually benefit incredibly well. So I'm not telling you to go vegan or whatever, but have a look, have an exploration, because there's some bloody good meals out there that are incredibly good for you. But yes, so there's that. So the other reason I say, like, please feed yourself properly and balance is because, you don't want illness, you don't want fatigue, you don't want injury, you don't want to, start plummeting in your workouts. You want to keep doing really well. And the thing is, if you're on like a weight loss program, eventually, yes, things do slow. And if it's like we hit this shelf and nothing shifts, like, from measurements to images to training, then I do bring more further deficit in. But if I'm noticing that your training is getting better and I'm looking at your images and going, yeah, but you're building tissue, like amazing amount, then we'd have a chat. Like, does the scale weight matter more? Do you not think actually how you're looking, how you're feeling in your clothes, is that not more important? So there's a lot of people now that I don't even do scale weight with them because it can be quite damaging on mental health, I'm finding. I'm definitely heavier than I was in my first photo shoot this year. However, this girl, she back squatted 70 kg on 3 sets today. But I couldn't have done that in March. I couldn't have. I was in a massive deficit then, whereas now I'm in the sort of a maintenance area. It's one of those sort of things. We get through that in life. And I've kind of gone, well, I'm happy with that. So it's all worth it. So yeah, really think about that. It's really, really a big thing for you guys, is that your progress, it's measured in different ways. So no matter what, I want to keep you having as many calories as possible for a longer period of time. I don't like to drop it. I'm very, very hesitant on it because, we all have, like I said before, busy lives. We're busy working, parent life, doing a second job. We've got to look after someone, social events. You need to be realistic with your life at the end of the day. When you come to me to be your PT, I'm not there to just kind of whip at you and just, get you into just shape and just think about that and just say protein, 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 hit your protein target. No, I want you to enjoy it. I want you to have a life with this. So that's why I'm saying eat, 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 eat. Anyway, so I kind of went into the next subject quite already, which was like, your journey is never a straight line. Never is, whether it's in terms of progress or in terms of weight loss. Weight loss is always going to do this. You're going to have uphill and then it drops again. Always happens. For when it comes to lifting, particularly if you're busy working and you're a bit knackered from it, or like girls, it's hormonal stuff, or maybe you've been ill recently. You might find sometimes that your training is just not as good. It's fine. Don't beat yourself up. Next week's a new week. You might find that suddenly you absolutely smash it. So I keep putting myself as an example. I just love to talk about myself, clearly. I haven't properly weight trained my legs for 2 weeks because I've just been busy but I've been to the gym, but I haven't pushed myself. So I finally put myself back on a program today, and that's where I did a back squat of 70 kilograms. No way would I have been able to have done that when I was doing loads of strength training, but having that time off actually made a difference. So it's kind of like a deload time for me and then coming back. Same if you've been on holiday, you might find having that time off, and you might then find that you come back a hell of a lot stronger. So don't be surprised. It's very, very exciting when that does happen. Trust me on that. It is probably the best feeling ever when you come back from a holiday, you're feeling rested. Okay, you do get holiday blues, but then you go back into that gym, even though you're a bit like, I don't want to bloody be here. You go in, you do it, and you're like, well, damn, where did that energy come from? So it's a great feeling. But yeah, so what was it? The other thing I was going to say was, with the journey not being a straight line, so the more experienced you are, that, so for example, the longer you've been with me or the longer that you've been training, it does take longer. Okay, when it comes to like building lean tissue, for example, you hit almost what people think is a plateau, but building lean tissue actually takes a bloody long time. Losing body fat is a lot faster than building muscle. You think about it this way: with body fat, we're able to strip that away quite quickly, like pieces of paper coming off a pile of paper. All right. But when we come to then building lean tissue, you've got, imagine like a wall of like Lego bricks. And we've got these little Lego bricks that's slowly going on, but it's the thin Lego bricks. You know the ones I mean, that take bloody ages to put that wall together. It's just one of those things. It just takes time, but you'll get there. The other thing is, I find with people that when they do some progress, like shots of me and that, they expect in their first 2 weeks to see dramatic difference. I'm going to tell you now, it is rare. It's really rare to see dramatic changes in the first 2 months of a program. That's why I always say to people, when you start with me, give me at least 3 months, because it's really hard to see with the naked eye what's actually changed. You'll notice things like how you feel, and you'll notice like things have changed in terms of measurements and scale weight, but actually the rest of it takes its time. If you're patient and you're consistent and realistic with yourself, you will see change. Okay. Many of you that have been training me for quite some time now, man alive, have I seen some changes that I'm crazy proud of, and I'm still yet to share a lot of before and afters, but we're not quite there because you're not wanting to do it just yet, and that's fair enough. But that's because we've been achieving. Some people it's been like 6 months, some people it's like a year, and they look like completely different people. An amazing example, and you've seen me post pictures of him, is Jake. Okay, he's now been training me for 6 months, and he has changed dramatically. Okay, he is a completely different person, not just, you know, aesthetically how he looks, but mindset. This guy used to hate training, and now he flipping loves it. He tells me all the time. When I first met him, he was like, you're a weirdo, the amount you work out. Now he loves it. That's progress in itself, changing and living a healthier lifestyle. He eats well, he trains well, he goes out and running, walking. That is insane progress. So that to me is a major sort of shift in journey. So again, 6 months is when we saw the biggest change, and we're still going. So it's really exciting. Also, when it comes to like these sort of programming and stuff, I won't lie, it does take longer for women. Unfortunately, it is harder, and the older we are, the harder it gets. I'm afraid to put it that way. But if you stay consistent, you keep doing what I tell you to do, you will see change, and you will feel better, and you will feel stronger, and you'll notice things like leaning down and tightening up and building lean tissue. So just trust me and trust the process. So yeah, what else? I think that is pretty much me covering everything. So I'm gonna give it like literally a couple minutes if anyone's got any questions to ask me, and then I'll finish it there. But if anyone has any questions up for this from this recording that wants to then either email me, text me, or voice note me, it's absolutely fine. I'm happy to answer any questions. But yeah, so I'll have a think about what's the next trend for next month. But yeah, I've had so many of you join recently. So the team in the end, was it it's basically increased. Well, put it this way, I'll be honest with you guys. When it was August, I was on 31 clients. I'm now on 52. So it's definitely getting better. And there's a lot of you definitely trusting me now, which is really, really, it's an honor. I'm absolutely loving teaching you guys things. And I really hope that these webinars, help you out moving forward. But yeah, and I'm bloody proud of every single one of you guys. You've all got different things going on in your lives. You're all got different targets, yet you bloody smash it. And you never put up a complaint. You just do it. But yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that. So there's no questions, so I'll leave it to there. But thank you for those who joined on the live. For those of you watching the recording, thank you so much. And I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.